So it's time to start modding your Skyrim, but you have one question. What version should I be using? So let's go ahead and talk about the version history of the game. Skyrim was released back in 2011 on its very first versions. And then shortly after that came the Creation Kit, and gamers were then overjoyed by the amazing mods that were available for the game. And then came the 3 DLCs, which expanded the game even further. And then finally, the Legendary Edition was released. This version merged all of the download contents into the base of the game for one singular purchase. This was free for everyone that already owned all the DLCs and made it into a nice convenient package. And what was great about this version of Skyrim is that the mod authors didn't really have to do a lot of work to update their mods to work with this version of the game, meaning your mod list would stay relatively intact as the mods were compatible. But for the SKSE team, things would not be so simple, as for every update that did happen, they had to subsequently update their mod to work with the newest versions of the game. And as you can see, there has been multiple updates over the years, and multiple updates during that time period. I remember having to wait a good part of a couple months back in the day, as some of these updates were not easy to do, and took a great amount of effort to finish. But alas, this would be nothing in comparison to the game version that was about to release next. Game version 1.5 of Skyrim Special Edition. And thus the greatest divide in gaming modding history had just occurred. So what is Skyrim Special Edition? Well, it is a major improvement over the game's engine as it utilizes a 64-bit process rather than a 32-bit. And it would now use DirectX 11, making the game work well with new hardware, and added technologies such as volumetric lighting and screen space reflections. This would also allow the game to utilize more than 4 gigabytes of RAM. So you no longer needed a mod to have these things, as they were now on the base of the game. And even the minimum system requirements were now 8 gigabytes of RAM. So Skyrim Special Edition was something that any fan of any dated game would have loved to see their devs do. But because this was such a big change to the game's engine, it meant that most of the popular mods would no longer work with Skyrim Special Edition, meaning your mod list would essentially be broken. You would now have to wait for the mod authors to port their mods over to Skyrim SE, and this took a long time to do, and some mods never even got transferred over. Even to this day, mods are still being updated for the old version of Skyrim. Some people were not happy with the SE release, stating that the mods that were out already covered what the SE release version did, and that there was no point to using the SE version of the game. So because of this, it started a huge controversy over which is the better version of Skyrim. Some people say it's the old RIM version that's the best, and some people say that Special Edition is the best version, and this is something that's still an argument to this day. So whatever your decision was, if you decided to switch to the Special Edition of the game and spend months creating and stabilizing your mod list, it would now all be broken once again, as yet another version has been released in the form of Skyrim Anniversary Edition. And as for every update that happens in the AE version of the game, the SKSE team has to update their mod, and once again, mod authors from the Special Edition of the game now have to transfer their mods over to the AE version of the game. Now, at the time of this video's release, there really isn't much of an issue with the amount of mods that have been ported over from SE to AE, as a lot of the popular mods actually have been transferred over. The awesome job that has been done at the modding.wiki page from various community members has created the ultimate source for you to determine whether or not you want to use the SE or AE version of the game, as this webpage gives you detailed information on many of the popular mods and what game versions they are compatible with. The link will be in the description. So what exactly is the AE version of the game? Well, this was quite confusing to understand just looking at the Bethesda release notes, but luckily Arthmore, author of the unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch, made a very nice article explaining exactly what the AE version is, which is basically a SE update of the game and nothing more. The only thing that the AE version offers is that it comes with 4 DLCs for free, and this would be the game version 1.6 that everyone gets free in the update. Now, if you buy the AE update for $20, you get all the DLC content in the Creation Club. And this is the only difference between the paid AE version and the free AE version, and they both share the same version number. So now that we know all the differences in the various versions, it is now time to make a decision. As of making this video, there are two main versions to consider, and that is the game version 1.5 and the game version 1.6. I'm the kind of person that loves game updates, so I'm going to be using the AE version of 1.6, along with all of the DLC content from the Creation Club. And even Arthmore himself is no longer making updates for anything other than the newest versions of the game, and strongly recommends you only use the most updated versions of Skyrim. Well, that's it for me, everybody. I really hope this video helped you out, and if it did, please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. And good luck on your modding ventures.